In this video, we're talking about ENTPs and INFPs in a relationship and what you can do to strengthen it. What are some of the actual strengths and the struggles of each of the types, and what they can do together to have a better relationship, whether it's an actual like we love each other relationship, or it's a business relationship or something like that. What's up, team? It's Sherman here from Geek Psychology. So I got this request, and it was to talk about ENTPs and INFPs in a relationship. And it is a massive topic. There's so much into it, so many different dynamics with any type combination as well. From my personal experience, I have two ENTP friends. I've never dated an ENTP. No, I don't think so. But I've always looked to them as inspiring, and that's coming from my INFP view, seeing them do extroverted intuition so well, and then throwing this like cousin function twist on it. It's not a dance. It's not the cousin function twist. It's like, how did you make so much clarity of that? Like the words, the lexicon that you have is just, boom, mind-blowing. Because I'm looking at it and I'm seeing introverted judging, but I'm seeing introverted thinking, which is my 8th function. And it's like, it's something that I want to do because I look to it as like, that would be great if it could really be on my team. But it's not. So like I played Heroes of the Storm quite a bit with one of my ENTP friends, and within that you have like, I'll explain a MOBA very quickly. You have like a couple different towers, and then you have your base on each side, and you're kind of doing like a tug of war. You're trying to push your little dudes and dudettes across the line to destroy their tower. And the ENTP friend, I should give him a name, I'll call him C. He always like has this clarity of decisions, like, this is where we need to be right now. I'm going to do this. I'm going to attack this tower. And it's usually, unfortunately, it's usually him by himself, which is a funny thing because, he's got that extroverted feeling, but within it, his introverted thinking, that scientist is saying, nope, look at this. This is the perfect point for leverage so that we can win the game. This makes the most sense to get us to our goal. Whereas I'm usually a support. I'm usually like with the team, like, I gotta save this stupid person. Oh, they're gonna run into the tower. Oh, they're gonna get dead in more ways than one. So I need to be there to support them and to help them so that we can, like, I can lift up that one character's strengths and we can hopefully use that to win the game. Whereas the ENTP C is like always like, I'm going to do this because it's the right decision. Why would anybody do anything else? So it's just this like back and forth over and over of like how the different viewpoints are. I see one person, I'm like, I can branch out off all the different possibilities. Like, this person's probably in this situation because they thought this, or they felt it was a good decision because of this. And then my extroverted intuition goes around and pieces all these different things together. I look into my past, and we have this chaotic situation that I feel that I know what that character is going to do, so I go over there and try to support them. Whereas, in my opinion, the ENTP side is going to see all these different possibilities and funnel it into the most logical one and do that. And then probably have some sort of like push and pull with extroverted feeling. Like, I know my team should be doing the right thing. I should be with them perhaps, but this is the right choice. And maybe some critical nature around there. Like TI and FE has some hypercritical nature in picking out people's faults and things like that, just like FI kind of does. It's like, judging the character, evaluating the character of people. But it gets messy. One of the key aspects right here, just right off the bat, is introversion and extroversion. Like, that's always going to cause some sort of issues. because the ENTP is going to be like, I want more experience. I want to get out. I want to do stuff. I want to see the change. I want to be the change. And the INFP is like, I want to make sense of this before I actually go approach it, before I like let loose and lose myself into the mist and the wild, which probably won't even happen. And, you know, the INFP is going to constantly be trying to push the ENTP into that introverted zone, right? The introverted thinking, the scientist, like get into your head, like really think about it. You know, lay out your plans and your schematics and your scrolls and potions and stuff. And ENTPs might fight with that. You know, everybody fights with their auxiliary function in some ways because the sidekick, that tertiary function, just speaks louder. It speaks our language. You know, so that's going to be one initial problem that is going to need to be overcome, whether it is in a relationship or a business partnership or whatever it is. Starting out, let's go with the ENTPs, okay? Not myself. We'll go with the ENTPs because I'm not selfish. ENTPs, one of the main goals for them with their dominant function, extroverted intuition, the explorer character, right? The hero of the story for them is this character that wants to explore all the different possibilities, wants to go out and push all the buttons, pull all the levers, and dive in, right? Skydive and do all this like fun, exciting stuff within imagination as well. Like explore all the different potential possibilities of where ideas could go, where things could take you, what could emerge from that, what would happen if you combined these two things. ENTPs are like, oh my god, never do that again. If you combine two different things, what would happen, right? That's explorer, that's that extroverted intuition, and it's usually it's a pretty optimistic function as well, because if you're always looking at what could be and what could happen, then it's kind of like it's fresh. You know, you're excited for what the possibilities could be. And with that, though, comes this push for the desire to stay free, right? The desire to not be held down, be locked down within a structure of any sort. Whether it's just like a paper structure, like you need to fill out these things and it sucks, right? You just hate doing paperwork. Or whether it's an actual, like, in a relationship. You know, EPs are going to be like, I don't know if I really want to stay in here because it's confining. I don't have all the freedom that I need to explore these different possibilities. What if I see somebody else that I'm really attracted to, physically, mentally, or spiritually, whatever it is, and not being able to go down that path and see what happens? That's cutting off the EP, especially in this case the ENTP, from doing something that fuels them, right? That's how they get energized. The goal is to take all those different ideas, all those different potentials, possibilities, and make a decision, funnel them down using introverted thinking, this scientist type character, or extroverted feeling, this envoy, this diplomat type character. So it's going in there. It's like, okay, we have all these choices, all these different things that we could do. Let's ground it. Let's go in and think, does it make sense to do this? And if I do this, how is that actually going to affect the social sphere, the ecosystem of people? And that's something that's very much on their radar. I think this, we feel this, right? Those two, that push and pull between, like, I know it's right to do this thing, but everybody wants me to do this other thing and it drives me nuts, but also getting some of that recognition could be kind of good, you know? It's a constant push and pull for them. So let's talk about INFPs, though. INFPs also have extroverted intuition, but it's not their main drive. It's not their dominant function. It's not their hero. It's the supporting character. It's the mentor within the story. And so introverted feeling is the dominant character. That's that empath character. The hero of the empath is all about refining the feelings, refining and ordering and sorting how you feel about certain things, and weighing that and balancing it and evaluating it to see, like, well, this happened in this situation and this happened in this situation. So if we think about it, if we feel about it, then, well, this is the choice that I should make, because this is going to be the one that's going to create the most harmony within myself, and then as a later projection within other people, like the universal goodness, that conscience that not many people want to have around. So it's doing that, right? It has the INFP has their starting point of making a decision. It's introverted judging. It's making a decision internally, subjectively first, and then spreading out from there with extroverted intuition. And also then refining it and going into introverted sensing and looking to authority and looking to past precedent and things like that. So it's the conscious push and pull for INFPs is that, should I create a whole new thing, or should I just trust what happened before? Should I explore and see what emerges out of this situation? Or should I trust my past experiences and lock on to those? And so you can see, like, initially there's going to be a difficulty within there. The desire for freedom is in there for the INFPs too, but the ENTP is going to latch onto that more and not want to be held down ideationally or physically. And the INFP is going to want to make a clear internal decision and then explore the different possibilities. So they're kind of going at it backwards. Within some of the strengths, both of them are likely good at extroverted intuition. We're talking about healthy people here. And yeah, we're not going to get into like all sorts of levels of health and whatnot. Just assuming that both parties are mature individuals and are aware of what they're doing and have some skill within their auxiliary function as well, which might be a lot to ask for, but there we are. So the extroverted intuition is going to be a strength within both, but the ENTP, that's the hero. That's the energizing state. The INFP, that's actually kind of what drains them a little bit. It's like, I don't want to push myself out and get this feedback from the outer world that might rub me the wrong way, might show me that I'm a bad person. Ooh, nobody wants that, especially INFPs. Where the ENTP has all these ideas and then is going to look for a way of categorizing them and defining them and making this framework, this model of understanding that makes clear sense to them, right? It's internal decisions. It's introverted judging, introverted thinking that they're going for. The scientist is playing around with all these different things and looking at it like, okay, well, this is how this thing works in this, and this is how this works over here, and if we isolate this metric, then we get this understanding of it. Like, it's similar in ways to the empath because it's introverted judging, but it's doing it detached, impersonal, cold, logical. It's analytical, right? More than the empath. The empath is this gestalt of emotions and feelings and beliefs and trying to order those, trying to evaluate which one is the most important within that context, within that situation. There's some difficulties within there, but also some similarities, like introverted judging is introverted judging in its way. Does that make sense? Like, introverted judging is going to do introverted judging things. It's going to take information, it's going to funnel it in and try to make a personalized decision that might be a little difficult to explain. Like, introverted thinking is going to have some more strength around picking out the clear wording, maybe even the clear data points, like this this is why this is a good decision or a bad decision. And introverted feeling, the empath can just be like, it just feels right. Trust me, please. And whether it gets trusted or not is a whole nother situation, but it's something that they can both work on. If it's a feeling beast that you're fighting, if you're doing something like, I need to go to somebody's funeral, might want to take the introverted feeler advice a little bit and do something nice and subtle that's going to care for that individual, as opposed to possibly explaining about the circle of life and that larger picture of how it all works together. And you might want to listen to the feeler on that, right? But if it's like, we need to create a product, and within that product you need to have these certain aspects clearly taken care of. You need to have a name for what you're doing. You need to have the desire, the goal, and all this other stuff. Well, that's more of a logical category. It's kind of extroverted thinking, I suppose. But within that, the introverted thinking scientist is going to be able to pick it apart more and get rid of the errors in the code and say, this is what we need to focus on right now. And the INFP needs to just take that. Some of the strengths for the ENTP is going to be, I feel, within the auxiliary and the tertiary function. So the mentor and the sidekick, right? It's that scientist and the envoy. And the ability to take both sides of the decision, the subjective approach and the objective approach. So thinking about my understanding of it and how it's going to affect the morale of people, the social environment, and balancing those. The envoy, the extroverted feeling, is not a strength, but it's something there, and it's something that they can wield more likely than an introverted feeler. INFPs are going to have more of a strength within the perceiving situations of being able to get all these different ideas, all this information, and then look to experts, look to the past, and recall and review that a little bit more in order to bring out whatever internal judging sentiment that they have, right? So knowing that, I think, could give them, this relationship, some abilities to cover a lot of different bases. To be able to be like, I have all these ideas, I got this. Can you check to see if it's something that's happened before? Or, you want to do a little research on it, and then we can bring it back and see. We can test it with other people and see how it goes. In a relationship, it's more like... it's more like the ENTP is going to be the one out there trying to connect and build these networks of people and of excitement or whatever it is. And the INFP is going to likely tag along with there. And there could be, getting into the struggles, there could be some struggle, some negativity around extroverted feeling for the INFP. What I mean by that is the INFP uses that empath, introverted feeling, as their hero. But within them, and this is a larger topic, but within them, they also have this rival energy with extroverted feeling, with that envoy. Like, why would you do that? Why would you create a bigger scene? Why would you express these emotions that everybody should already be feeling and knowing, and it's maybe not your place to push it out there and stuff like that. So there's going to be a little bit of tension around there. Whereas within the ENTP's frame, mindset, there could be some tension within the introverted sensing for the INFP, because us INFPs do like it. I mean, everybody likes their tertiary function. It's their sidekick. It's their buddy, right? So going to that guardian and being like, well, I don't want to go out. I don't want to do things differently, could seem odd. Could seem strange. It could seem like a maverick or some sort of like otherly choice. Like, why would you not explore these possibilities? Why would you not take these chances or create a little bit of chaos or mess with people a little bit? Whereas the INFP is like, no, this is my comfort zone. This is my safety place. I don't want to go over there and explore. No matter how healthy either one of these people are, it's going to be there. Right? The ENTP is always going to want to, at some level, bond and express emotions at the same time with people. That's extroverted feeling. I know they're an ENTP, but it's in there, right? It's that axis, that polarity. The INFP is always at some level going to want to make their own decision about what is right, what is the good thing to do, and create a system that allows them to do that. And they'll fumble with it, sure, but that's what they want to do. They want to set things up and understand themselves in a way that they can just go and not create chaos. Create a nice harmonious system that works for itself. It doesn't hurt anybody. It honors the individual, and eventually maybe it will help them down the line make money or do whatever it is. So that's a lot of stuff. I told you it's a big topic, and I'm cutting it extremely short. But the goal, in my opinion, is to utilize that feeling and thinking combination. So FI and TE. For the INFP, TE, extroverted thinking, the commander, they're not going to have a lot of command over their life. And making it up through this kind of strange TI-FE combination of like the scientist and the envoy. It's this really brainiac, like hyper charismatic character. Could be even like a Tony Stark type character, I suppose. And using that to be able to funnel that introverted feeling outward. I know I've said funnel quite a bit. To expand it outward and have it reach a broader range. And from the ENTP side, it's like they're going to see probably, this is me kind of embodying the ENTP as the best as I can. They're going to see a lot of that stillness that comes from introverted feeling, from a healthy introverted feeling, and see that as introverted thinking in a way. That introverted thinking and extroverted feeling like combination. It's calculated. It is refined. It's purified judgments. And there could be some sort of like awe in that, like looking to it and like, how did you remain so calm, and how did you articulate those feelings in that way? Because I don't really even know how I feel about things. Like that's probably what the ENTP is going through, because extroverted feeling, other people's feelings, are so much on their radar that going to their own personal evaluations on it is down the line. Like it's something that's going to hit them later, like a day later, maybe just slightly later. But yeah, so that's going to be a struggle and something that the ENTP might be looking at for some sort of support. Whereas, like I said, the INFP should be looking to getting extroverted judging kind of taken care of through the ENTP. It's not the perfect approach. Like really, INFPs need to get a handle over extroverted thinking in a way. And the ENTPs need to just, latch more on to introverted thinking and then find the ways of expanding that out to help other people, and then creating these traditions that are supporting the daily continuity of life. So that's a lot of techno jargon, but basically make sense of things and then go share it with other people and create a great situation for other people to be in. Like my ENTP friend was the game master, the dungeon master for our games, and it was like he was the star in a lot of ways. He was the one that was creating the environment, getting everybody excited and like creating all these different puzzles for us to go through. And I think that's such a wonderful place, especially from an INFP. Going out there and being able to role play, being able to get into the mind of another character and go through these puzzles that are crafted from an ENTP mind is just like it's a fun little adventure as it is. I'm done. I've got, I could just keep talking about this, but it's going all over the place. As I said at the start, it's like there's so much. There's so many different possibilities, so many different ways of looking at it, so many different inter-type dynamics, intra-type dynamics, and inter-type dynamics. But I want to say, like, the last thing, I really do feel that INFP and ENTP are a good combination because you have endless exploration. You can connect on such an extroverted intuitive level. And then you both have different approaches to making decisions, but they're kind of similar. And if you're both healthy, you can talk it out. You can explain it. And then you can think about, when should I really just trust this other person's advice? When should they really be giving me the space that I need and trusting my advice? And with that, hopefully it becomes a good relationship and everything works out smoothly. You don't need to deal with that perceiver, judger, back and forth nonsense. Ugh. Anyway, keep up the lifelong questing. Good luck, have fun. Peace.